What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today I'm going to show you how to play your characters, how to figure out what to do with them, how to use them properly, and also show you a little tip that might actually help your gameplay, especially if you're playing on a phone. So the first thing is you want to go into members, and you want to click on train to whatever character you are actually trying to learn. So we'll click on train, and you want to go to skill. Now, something that is synonymous with all of these characters is that the red orb actually does the most damage, the yellow orb actually will do some kind of like AoE skill, and then the blue orb will do a debuff or a buff. So you might get an increased attack, increased element damage on the blue orb, you might get a decreased defenses of your opponent, things of that nature, debuffs and buffs on the blue orb. So when you click on the red orb, you'll notice that the highest attack is going to be from this thing. And you'll see three texts. It says 211%, 423%, and 635% in Lucia's case, right? So whenever you have one orb and you hit it, it's going to only have 211% damage. And then if you two orbs show up, this is a match make system. So when you get one orb, you hit it, it'll do a skill. You hit two orbs, both those two orbs together, they'll do a skill. If you hit three orbs all together, they'll do a skill, okay? So when you see these three different numbers, one orb is 211%, two orbs at the same time is 423%, and then three orbs at the same time is 635% if they're all red orbs. And the attack, it just says thrust forward and pulls the target. It'll be the same skill, but the more orbs you have, the more damage you're actually doing. So initially what you're trying to do with all of your characters when you're using them as your damage dealers is you're trying to build up your orbs. Now, when the orbs are coming up on the screen, that is complete RNG. You don't know which ones are going to show up. You have no idea. So sometimes you got to stall the timer by entering the matrix, and we'll talk about all that and so on to try to get the right orbs to come in, because it really is all RNG based as far as what orbs are actually coming in succession after the others. Then you go to the yellow orb, and this is really more of like an AoE skill. You can see the damage is not as high as the red orbs. And this is going to be synonymous with all of these characters. So, 119% for the first orb, 238% for the two orbs together, and then 357% for three orbs together. If you have three yellow orbs, it'll give you 357% increase to your damage, right? Then you go to the blue orb, and see, this is what I'm talking about buff and debuff, right? So this one deals the least amount of damage, with one orb only dealing 76%, 152% for two orbs, and then 229% for three orbs all together, right? But it buffs you because in Lucia's case, she actually has fire damage, right? And so you get a 7.65% buff. So whenever you hit the blue orb, you're going to get the 76% damage, but you're also going to get the 7.65% fire damage. And then if you have two orbs, you'll get 11.4% extra fire damage, and you'll get 15% extra fire damage whenever you're using the blue orb skills. And something to keep in mind is with characters that do elemental damage, it might be good to throw out a little bit of this, add a little extra elemental damage, especially whenever you're in like the war zones or pancake where elemental damage actually comes into play. You can actually figure out how to gear. So if I see blue orbs coming up, I'm like, and I'm playing with Lucia, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can hit the blue orb, I can increase my fire damage by a little bit, especially for the fire stage in war zone, right? To really buff up that damage. And then go into the red orbs afterwards, because we'll still have that damage. So it's extra fire damage within 6 seconds based on the number of orbs ping. So in your active skills, the first one here is your basic attack, and that's pretty self-explanatory. That's the big button down in the bottom that you'll be tapping for doing your basic attacks to build up, to bring in all those orbs as you're attacking. The next one is your signature move. Now the signature move is like a super and other games where you have an invincibility iframe. So that means that you won't be taking any damage during this move or during the duration of this move. So you're going to be dealing a lot of damage, you're going to have a lot of extra survivability because of this. So it's a great skill to use whenever you're in danger, or you're just trying to get a lot of damage done at the end of the fight so you can finish it as fast as possible. And then you have what's called the QTE skill. Now the QTE skill is a skill that all the characters have. In fact, all the characters have all these things, but the QTE is whenever you're playing with your damage dealer, you have your two supporting characters over on the top right hand corner. Whenever you bring in one of those characters, they're going to do their QTE skill, and I'll explain how to do that in a little bit. But whenever you bring them in, they're going to do their QTE skill. So for some characters, it'll offer a heal, like B-Lib. For some characters, they'll do a lot of damage, like in Lucia's case. She'll do tons of damage. So her QTE skill, Lucia strikes an enemy with her dual blades, dealing 848% attack, and it's all physical damage. The next thing is Attacker. This is extra damage increased by 10%. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then whenever you awaken Lotus's ultimate rank, they'll gain 3 signal orbs when entering the battle. Now, all the characters are going to be the same as far as this is concerned. Whenever you reach the ultimate rank, whenever they show up on the screen, they're going to have 3 orbs automatically, which is going to enable you to do a lot more damage a lot faster. That's actually pretty awesome because you can actually go in the Matrix immediately. So getting your characters at a higher rank is really going to help your cause as far as how much damage you're actually doing. And then we go into the passive skills. So the first one is Lotus Dual Blades. And this is how I know about how much damage you do. And this is also where you're going to learn how to optimize your character's damage or output for whatever you're trying to get from them. So in Lucia's case here, we got the core passive, pinging a red orb within 4 seconds of any 3 ping. 3 ping is whenever the orbs are coming out. So if I have 2 orbs, that's 2 ping. If I have 3 orbs at the bottom, that's 3 ping. If I have 4 orbs, it's 4 ping, and so on and so on and so on. So any 3 ping, so any color, it could be any blue, it could be all yellow, it could be all red. Whenever I hit that, and then I hit a red afterwards, just 1 red afterwards, she'll go into her dual blades and she'll start dealing all that damage. And that does guard break them as well, which is actually pretty cool. So that's how you know how to play them. So on each of these characters, go down to their passive skill, look at their first passive, right? And that's going to tell you how to do the best move with the most damage. The second one is the leadership. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Whenever they're in a leadership role in their team, this is what they're going to apply to their team members. Then you have Rapid Strike. This is just a passive when attacking airborne targets. So whenever characters are in the air, deals extra 20% physical damage per attack. And this is all a part of learning each single character. You want to read through all this and learn what they can do and what they're capable of. So this will help you learn or figure out who you actually want to play with, as far as, as well as aesthetics and gameplay. And then her Relentless Blade passive under burst mode, extra damage increased by 15%. And then, Core of Clarity, extra damage bonus of a basic attack increases by 15%. And of course, the higher you rank, the more, then you'll be able to unlock all of these things. Now, you can learn how to do all of this, go into battle mode, and you would go into challenge. And then you would click on Trial Zone up in the top right-hand corner here. And you would actually go into co-op. Now, you could do co-op or you could do solo. So if I want to click on here and I want to learn how to play, I just hit solo battle and I could pick the character that I want to play with. Now, we know that if we do any 3 ping and then do a red afterwards, she'll do her dual blade. So you can actually learn what these skills look like. So we'll jump in here. We'll go ahead and do this. This doesn't cost any stamina. You can do this as much as you want. You can even go against live targets. So you can actually get better at playing the game. So right now what they've done is they gave me 3 yellow orbs and they gave me a blue orb, okay? So if you notice that the yellow orbs are yellow, and then the aura around Live there is actually yellow also. So when I come up here, to bring a QTE in, right, to do a QTE skill, all you gotta do is hit the same color of the character you're trying to bring in. So you'll hit and it has to be 3 ping. So I hit that 3 ping. See how she's got that aura, she's blinking? Bring her in, and then she'll do some damage, and she actually will provide a heal in Liv's case. Other characters do other QT skills. Nanami actually will cut open the shield of an opponent. Lucia will actually do her dual blades. Okay, so remember the blue orbs for Lucia actually increases her fire damage. Now, in the left-hand corner, they're actually showing you how to play. So they're showing you 3 white orbs, but they're not showing any color. So all you're trying to do is you're just trying to get 3 orbs of any, of the same color all out there. Okay, and this is how you bring in the orbs. You just strike. Now, we're going to hit the red, and whenever you're doing the matchmaking system like this, whenever you're playing a matchmaking system, all 3 of the orbs have to be the same color to match so you can get the actual optimum damage. So if I had that red in between the 2 blues and the 1 blue, and I hit the 2 blues, it would just click the 2 blues. It wouldn't click all 3. So right now, if I hit the 3 blues, right, you see Nanami's actually got the blue aura around her. I hit the 3 blues, look, now I could bring her in. So that's how you do your QT skills. Very, very easy. So let's do what the game's asking us to do. We're trying to do the dual blades. So we're just going to do some basic attacks. And we're trying to bring in 3 orbs of the same color. Okay. Now, we got 5 red. So whenever I hit 3, we got a 4-second period afterwards to do the other red, right? So we hit the 3, and then we hit the red. And if you notice there's these red lines on the side of the screen, she's in her dual blade mode and she's doing insane damage. And then at the bottom corner, now you see that we built up the signature move. Now, I want you to look in the top left-hand corner of the screen. You see a little blue meter underneath the white meter. The white meter is your life. The blue meter is the amount of energy that you're going to use. In Lucia's case, you use 100 energy. In other characters' cases, it might be 60 energy. It changes depending on which character you're playing with. So if we do this, we'll go ahead and get over here and let's do some damage to this old guy and do our signature move here, which I love, by the way, with Lucia. I actually really love playing with this free-to-play character. I think she's awesome. I love her skin. It's freaking beautiful. Okay, so you notice that blue meter went all the way down. We used our signature move. We used it. Now we're going to start striking, and you're going to see the blue meter actually start building, and you're going to build it a lot faster when you start using your orbs. Now, the more orbs that you have out and that you use all together of the same color. So right now we got 2 red, and you'll just get even more. You'll gain even more energy at a faster rate. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep building that meter until we get our signature move. Here we go. And now we have our signature move. We can do it again. That's how you build up your signature move. All right. So then we can click next. And then now it's showing us how to do other stuff. So attacks will deal additional fire damage. Remember when we read earlier about Lucia that her blue orbs actually deal fire damage. So if you do 3 orbs in her case, and then you do the red afterwards, you're actually going to be doing more fire damage when you're entering dual blade. Remember, any 3 ping, any color 3 ping, and then you go into another red is going to go put you into dual blade where you're doing all that damage. But you can actually add some fire elements whenever you have 3 blues. So we're going to try to get 3 blues here. And like I said, it's all RNG as far as which ones come out. Now we need a red orb here. Let's see if we can get a red orb. Okay, now, so now we got a red orb. So we'll hit the blue, and then we'll hit the red. And now we're actually doing fire damage on top of our physical damage. See, you just have to read through all of the skills, see what you have to do it, and then you can come in here in the training mode or in the co-op and actually learn how to do it. Right? And these are the recommended combos that you can do. Another thing, whenever you're playing with her, is you'll see a little arrow in that little circle around her at the bottom. That arrow, if you ever get lost in stage, that's guiding you to where you actually need to go. Just a little tidbit for you guys. So that's how you do QTE skills. That's how you do signatures, bring up your signature moves, and so on. Now, let me provide a little tip for you guys that actually I just learned today that I think is pretty phenomenal, especially for those of you that play on a phone. So in the top right hand corner, you got your little setting icon. Click on that setting icon, right? And if you're having problems with your fingers, like the positioning of the buttons is off, then you can actually go to button position here, and you can actually click on 2 settings, right? Oh, go to configure 2. So go to custom configuration, okay? And you'll have this come up right here. So now whenever I put my finger on one of these icons, it's going to highlight, and I can actually move it to wherever I want it. Now, this is pretty damn nice for players that maybe have bigger fingers than others, depending on the device that they're playing on. Maybe they want to move things around, right? You can move all these skills around, all these things. You can move this around. You can change all of this. You can move where your supporters are at, and so on and so on and so on, to make it a little bit easier for your fingers to adjust. You can also change the size of the icon. So if you have really big fingers, maybe you'll have a smaller icon, right? If you have small fingers, maybe you'll have a bigger icon, and so on and so on and so on. I think this can really, really help a lot of players out there. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here because I really don't want to change anything. I'll probably end up changing a little bit down the bottom, but it might make it a little easier because sometimes people get the dodge and the regular skills mixed up. You know, the skills all the way to the right and the dodge next to it. And that's another thing, by the way. Whenever you're playing the game, you want to enter practice modes. And like I said, just like I showed you a second ago in Challenge and Trial Zone, you want to play against live targets. Learn how to dodge. Learn how to use your dodge, because when you get really good at dodging, you're going to become a much better player. You know, on top of utilizing your orbs the way that you need to use them, utilizing your QT skills. So hopefully this will help some of you out there as far as doing your gameplay. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.